Sticks and Strings. I'm Naomi.
I'm Beth.
I'm Eve.
Happy October. It
Yes.
is October.
Yes, it is.
Oh, yeah, it's her birthday month, whatever. And Eve's pumpkin. Look at that. She'll talk about that. So we're back. We're ready to chat. Grab your beverage of choice and your crafts and sit down with us for a chatty chat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go first.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The first thing I did, I have a story, and I'm still upset about it because it just happened last night. On what day was it? I don't know. I haven't slept this week because I've been obsessed. I finished my shawl here. Eve, will you take the corner? Blocked.
Oh, watch out, my needle. Sorry.
Yeah,
You get out of the way here. Okay.
this is blocked. Look how big it is, and you can
It's beautiful.
The lace really shows
Very
through.
lacy.
And hold it up a little, Eve. The ends you pull when you block it. You pull the ends to points. That's the outside.
Don't you
edge.
need little bells here?
And so that's really fun. And it, I could not believe how big it was. Now, before I blocked it, I found a dropped stitch somewhere in this general.
I was talking to her on the phone. She went, oh.
Yeah, somewhere in this general area, and I repaired it before I blocked it. Then the next day I wore it to work because after it was dry, I wore it to work for what I call show and tell, just because I was like, I love this, I want to wear it, even though it's not cold yet. It's cold in my office, so I thought, well, it's fine. And as I'm wearing it, let me find this. I looked down at my arm, and I'm like, what is that? And I found a dropped stitch right here. So there's no way I can ladder, obviously I can't undo it to fix it. So what I'm gonna have to do is what I did to repair the other one. I still have some yarn left. This is all I have left of that big ball. So I calculated well. I'm gonna have to take a length of the yarn and weave it on one side, catch that loop, and weave it into the other side to make it look. So I had safety pins in my desk, so I grabbed it with a safety pin so it wouldn't. Because if I just leave it, it's going to ladder.
It would go all the way up.
Bad. Yeah. So, but other than that, it's done. It's quite large. It's sorry. It's quite large. It is loopy, so it catches on things. But so it's really
It's beautiful.
All the way down my back. I'm going to the symphony this weekend. I wish it was cold enough to wear, but it won't be. I'll wear it in November.
It'll be 70.
It'll be cold in the theater. In the hall.
No, not up in the balcony. It won't be cold up there.
Yeah.
But yeah. So there she is.
I always froze when I went to the symphony.
This is my Esther shawl in honor of my mama. So I'm really so happy, even with the drop stitches. That was a success. And I forced myself to finish it. Remember I spoke about the ranunculus. So I forced myself to finish it, and I'm like, before I cast it on, so I literally casted that off, put it in to soak, blocked it, and after I blocked it, I don't know what hour it was very late, I cast it on the ranunculus because I had decided what yarn to use. I decided on this purple yarn. Now, I had started a sweater in this called the Ziggurat with my Knit Stars subscription, and I loved that sweater. And I was thinking about yarns to use. I was trying to force it. I was thinking about, I didn't have enough. It takes less yarn than a normal sweater because you make it on really big needles. And I didn't have enough of any kind of yarn to make it the way I wanted. So I was thinking through my projects, and I actually thought about this yarn. And I pulled, because I had done, it was a cardigan, which is always hard for me because it's knit one direction, purl the other way, knit this way, purl that way. And I had the Ziggurat sweaters by, Osa Tricosa is her name, the designer's name. it's a really cool construction method that gives you the look of a set-in sleeve, but you kind of fake it so that you don't have to sew a sweater together. It's really a neat technique, which is what fascinated me about it, right? Because I'm like, I like new shiny techniques. So anyway, I had started that, and I had about, started at the neck, and I had about this much done. Just a little kind of a shaped strip. And I took out the yarn that night when I was, or maybe it was the day before, because I was thinking about it. I took it out, and I was like, oh, the knitting was really pretty, really even, beautiful gauge, and I was like, oh man, I don't know, maybe I should keep this. And I was looking through it, and all of a sudden, like right around here, there was a hole, and a little, like the shell of a little creature.
Yeah.
So somebody had gotten into my bag and eaten my yarn. It happens. Different moths and things seek out wool. So I was like, all right, well, there's a hole in it. So that's done. And I had I think a total of 4 or 5 skeins. So one skein is partially crinkled up from being knit for all those years. And then I had these other 3 balls. So I decided to start the ranunculus. I really like it. It probably looks gray. Maybe you can see the purple.
I'll say from here, that part looked gray in the shadow of your arm, but it looks purple.
So it's a gray purple, which I think I love, and I loved it when I got it, the yarn. So, and look, I put it on my little turntable. So that's been real nice. So I started the ranunculus, and the cast on the neck is very complicated. And I started it, and it looked awful. So I ripped it out. And you have to start it with waste yarn, and it's a small circumference. So I have this big needle, but I didn't have, it's like a hat size really that you need. I didn't have that. So I did have double points like you do with a sock in size 10 needles. So I started it there. I didn't like the first iteration, so I started a second one, and that one was going very well. And then I was going gangbusters. It was 4 o'clock in the morning, but I was going gangbusters, and I was very excited about it. And I was able to put it on here using the magic loop. So if you have an extra long needle, you can pull a loop out, and it creates a small circumference. You have to keep pulling the loop as you go around, but so it works, and this gauge is loose enough that you do get a little bit of space here where you pull the needle out, but it really is very forgiving. So I had done the cast on, and I had started it's like a lace pattern. I'll show you the pictures of the sweater. It's complicated because the pictures that are out there don't look very good. I might find someone else's, because I think I told you, originally it was like a giant, oversized, blocky sweater. Now they've created different sizes, and people have made them to where they look like a normal fitting sweater. But it's got this beautiful yoke of lace work and stitch work. So it's meant to look like you're wearing a necklace, right? So I had gotten, I don't know, I was probably maybe 12 rows of the decorative stitching in. And I was really pleased. And so these needles are my Chai-Gu interchangeable needles, and they just twist on and off. And I hadn't done the thing with the key and the super grippy thing, like super grippy type, put it on. And I usually just hand tightening is fine. But I think with all the cable pulling, I wasn't paying attention.
Oh.
And one of the needles had come untwisted. So when I went to pull the cable out, and I had just done a very complicated row with yarn overs and pulling up the loop and all this crazy stuff. So I pulled on this happened just last night. I pulled on the cable, and the whole thing came out and dropped, like I had probably a third of the stitches on. And so that was, I think actually I started the collar 2 times, and then that 3rd time was the charm. And I pulled out all the stitches. I was so upset. So I did stay up till some ungodly hour last night trying to get back to a good place. But so I did do the collar. I think it looks nice. It's a twisted rib on top. I had asked last week if anybody had made this before. Nobody chimed in. That's fine. But I'm excited about it. I've been watching so many videos, and there's some good technique videos out there for the different techniques that are called for in this sweater. And so, you know, sometimes when I start a new thing, I do it several times. I did not intend to do it 4 times. But so that was my fits and starts of this project. But what I did do when I got to that place, I was like, oh, I really like this. And I understand why it's kind of addictive. Like, each row is something new, but it's not horribly hard. And because you're in a small circumference to start with, it goes really quickly. So anyway, it's going well, and I'm excited to be going on it. I was so mad, and then I don't know, sometime at some ungodly wee hour this morning, I realized that I had done like 3 or 4 purl stitches here in a sea of knit. So I had to ladder down and fix those. I'm like, oh my gosh, this sweater. But everything's going well for the most part. So yeah, I'm surprised. Number one, I'm surprised that I buckled down and finished that shawl and did it all in basically a month. That was exciting for me. So now, but I feel a little bit of obsessiveness with this ranunculus because I'm so interested in it, and I'm so curious about it, and I'm still not sure which size I'm going to knit, and I'm still not sure how much positive ease I want, and I'm still not sure of a lot of things, which I think is why it's so interesting to me. So anyway, because the way this is designed, everyone makes the yoke the same, and then you decide on what size once you get to where you cut off, when you separate for the sleeves. So that's why I'm still contemplating. I'm still trying. I've been watching a lot of videos about different people's, how much positive ease they wanted, and you know which pattern, I mean which size is the right one for me, because I don't want it to be super baggy, but I also don't want it to be tight at all. So so I'm still contemplating, and I have some like probably, I don't know, 30 rows to think about it. So or more. So that's kind of fun.
So Naomi, you've used the phrase more than once, and I understand what you're talking about, but tell people what you're talking about when you say positive ease.
Oh, positive ease. So, oh yeah, I did talk about that last week as well. In a garment, how much room you have is your ease. If it is pulled super tight, that's negative ease, because the circumference of the garment is smaller than the size of your body. And so if the garment is loose fitting, that's positive ease, because the circumference of the garment is larger than your body. So most things, like a t-shirt, is going to have several inches of positive ease, because you don't want it skin tight. Now some people have shirts
Unless
that
you're
they
a
wear
bodybuilder and you want it to.
well, I mean, a lot of people have shirts that they wear, like those tiny little t-shirts that
Yeah.
women often wear, that have negative ease, and you can knit things. There are a lot of patterns that are knit in negative ease. So like my body circumference is X, my bust size is X, and then you knit 2 or 3 inches smaller to achieve the tight fitted look. And then you can do positive ease. Most garments have like 2 or 3 inches of positive ease. Like if your bust is this size, you knit this size, which works out to 2 or 3 extra inches around. But this garment is written for literally like 30 inches of positive ease. Like it's really big and baggy if you knit the original thing. I mean, depending on your body size, right? So
It's like when people have skinny clothes and fat clothes.
well, yeah, but it's
They
all,
have,
yeah.
You know, give themselves a little bit of room.
Yeah,
You know.
and then the other thing about this sweater is it is designed to be cropped, and homie don't crop nothing. So I don't even want to crop it like
So
a lot
it's
of
got
people,
a bunch of positive E's and a crop?
and it's cropped. Yeah, but like I said, people just do what they want.
Yeah.
And people knit it as long as they want it. Now, the original, like they said, you know, and originally, like, you could see it, if you look it up online, the ranunculus, I'll put the name of the pattern here, on Ravelry, you'll see all kinds, and the original design photos are like this tiny little girl in a thick, it was made with thick yarn, and it's very large, so she's just swimming in it, and it doesn't, like, when I first saw it, people were talking about it, I'm like, that doesn't look attractive. Actually, the first time I saw this sweater was on Knit Stars, which is it's a video class that you can buy. Every year they do at Knit Stars, and it's several different knit teachers, and they do these beautiful videos, and they teach you a technique, and you can buy the yarn with it, and it's a great thing. I haven't done it in a few years. It's expensive, but it's like going to a conference, but you don't have to go. All the people are there in your videos, and once you buy it, you own the videos forever. One of the designers that was featured, she did a thing on natural dyeing, and she's from Spain, and she was sitting, I think it was like I don't remember what, it was an interview, or maybe it was a part of the Knit Stars thing where they were talking to the designers, and someone asked her, because she was wearing like a shirt, a solid t-shirt, and then this beautiful lacy thing on top of it, and someone said, what is that sweater that you're wearing? And she said, it's a ranunculus. And I was like, I really liked the way that looked on her. And then I looked it up, this was years ago, and I was like, I don't understand this sweater. Now, the designer has gone back, like I said last week, and made smaller sizes and different sizes. So you can create it the way you want it. And you see people all over YouTube and Ravelry saying, I didn't want it big, I made it with negative, or not negative ease, but smaller amount of positive ease for my body, so that, and they wear it and it looks like a normal sweater, you know. So, and then, like, I guess originally a lot of people make it cropped and they wear it like over a knit dress, like a long dress, and they'll just wear it so the cropping it's not exposing your belly or anything. But I still don't think a cropped look is gonna be anything that I would ever wear. But I can make it as long as I want. Like, I wouldn't mind it hitting right below my waistband or something like that. And I have enough yarn, I think, that I can make it as long as I want. And I think I'm gonna make the sleeves are like kind of bracelet length, like right here, and I kind of dig that. So I think I'm gonna make it long sleeved. You can make it short sleeve, you can do whatever you want. So that's the adventure I have started myself on 4 times. And I think that's me. So here's a public service announcement: tighten your needles. Which I didn't do even in this instance. I just put it back on and still, because I didn't want to go find the key. So anyway, I can do it with one of my stitch markers, stuff it in there and tighten it. But anyway, that's me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going next. Right now, one of the patterns I'm planning to concentrate on this month is Wolf by Max Pigeon Coop Designs. And this is my progress so far. When I started on it this month, it was just a little bit of purple, and one of the purples was in the wrong place. So I'll work on that as I can around packing. The other project that I was planning to concentrate on that I forgot to show you last week is buried. Hold on. I thought I had put everything in an order where I could find it. So of course I didn't.
Did you leave it?
It was right here.
Yeah. Did you take it? You took it out of the thing?
Oh well, I'll show it to you in a minute. I did do some work on Tiny Modernist This is crocodile, although it's an alligator. This is, what I did was, it's a crocodigator.
Gator.
This greenery over here is all I did. I was waiting for Beth at an appointment. And then I brought it over here. And then I did spend quite a bit of time working on In This House by Crazy Stitch. It says, in this house, we believe in magic. We have epic adventures once upon a time, and in galaxies far, far away. We do while wibbly wobbly, teeny weeny stuff.
Timey
Whiny.
Time, like a time travel.
Timey whiny. Sorry, the letters are weird. Boldly going where no one has gone before. We know the answer to life in the universe is. No, we know the answer to life, the universe, and everything is 42. And the odds are ever in our favor. We are loyal and passionate, big damn heroes who aim to misbehave. We don't care what others think, because in this house we do geek. And this is a Christmas present for my son, which is why I spent so much time working on it. So this is my progress so far. Yeah, okay, I spent some time working on it, but I was busy. Okay. This is the word magic. I decided it was just not visible, so I'm outlining it in a DMC Coloris. That word just would not come to my head. Blue, and I'm thinking it'll look okay, so that you can see it when it's not glowing. And it does glow. I checked it. When I finished the M, I charged that M and I turned off all the lights in a dark room. And yes, it did glow. But I would like for it to be there all the time. So I have some other specialty threads that I'm planning to use throughout. Now, my under the sea temperature chart. It has been very temperate for my temperature chart. So we are getting into light pinks and oranges and even a yellow. I did not do over here is supposed to be a seahorse. I have not done that yet. And there's some space here. I may want to just put something here, but I don't know. In the pattern, there's space by the crab. It didn't bother me when I was designing it, but you know. When you design something, you keep looking at it and go, I could do this better. Which is why I added a sea turtle and a lobster. Anyway, I'm really happy with where this is going. And as I was doing the seaweed here, it's like showing me the end of the tunnel over here where it goes into dirt. The sea bottom isn't dirt, it's mud. It's mud. Sand. And then, as I said last week, I was looking for something that wasn't there. Okay. As I said last week, I purchased the digital pattern for this. And as I was putting in...
It's what is it?
This is Mini Snowman Snuggles. Yeah. As I was putting in what I had already accomplished, I realized that it had a lot of errors in it. Oh, no. Partly because my eyesight, I think I wasn't making stitches right, or maybe they were over in the wrong place. So I started over. I flipped it around the other way,
Okay.
And I started here
In the corner.
on this side. So I decided that I'm going to find a pattern. I'm going to do pattern picking. Symbols picking. And I'm going to put in at least one thread, completely. So I've gone further down, but not further over.
Oh, so this was
Careful,
also.
don't get it on your soda.
Oh, this
Yeah.
was also a corner start.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Oh, and you marked the.
yeah, every
Nice.
10 squares. Yeah, because we talked a lot about, like, you know, should she pick it all out? Should she cut off the fabric, whatever? And I thought, you know, it's better to not cut the fabric if you can until, you know.
So you need to.
Yeah.
And then if you need the room, you can always pick out what's
Right,
there.
yeah. And so she just decided
Neat.
to start over again, so, yeah. Instead of having to sit there and tediously rip out stitches or whatever.
I'll probably need the room, but that's
Yeah.
okay. I'm good with that.
Mhm.
I'm
far
extremely
enough in the day.
extremely good at picking out stitches.
You have a lot of practice.
So I'm pleased with that, and I just leave it where I can grab it and stick a whole length of thread in, you know, symbol picking and getting. I'm trying to go down and over, not just down, not just over. Before I was trying to do it by squares, and that's why it was so done so solidly like that. I was like, okay, this is my plan of attack, and that is no longer my plan of attack. So
That way you don't have threads hanging out all over. Yeah. Because you were trying.
I tried parking, and it was just not for me. Just not for me. So this is the other one that I was planning to concentrate on this month. Holly Jolly Christmas. And here is a picture of the one I already FFO'd. And here's the other one that I finished.
Lots of jelly.
That's so pretty.
I love them. I love
That's
them so much.
Really pretty.
And then I'm working on the pillow. It's not done as a pillow. It's done as like a,
Flat food.
no,
Oh,
just flat.
yeah.
No. So this is my progress on that.
Finished, I thought.
So
That's so
underneath here, it's got to say Christmas, and then a whole bunch of a row of holly, and then the best time of the year.
Is that all you have left?
Holly Jolly Christmas.
Is that all you have left?
Christmas, holly.
That is
This
a
time of
beautiful
year.
pattern. That makes me happy.
I
That's
love
one of
Erica
my favorite
Micro's
songs.
patterns. Holly Jolly Christmas.
Best time of the year.
So the one that I've finished is in storage. So
It's so pretty. I don't know what it is about. I mean, it's the colors. It's just the right Christmas colors for me. I just love it.
I love it. I just love
Really
it.
pretty.
And that's why I'm doing all three pieces, not just the
Yeah.
two berries. Because I consider doing just the two berries. Now, I have this free pattern, which I'm really not going to show you. It's by cross stitching for fun, which is now they call it something else. And I'm sorry, I don't remember what it is. They still kind of go by both on Facebook, but they had to make a new Etsy shop because Etsy closed their shop when the Russian war started. And now that it's been going on forever, they went ahead and let them open it, a new one, or maybe the one that was in Ukraine opened it. I don't know. So it says, each of us is an innkeeper who decides if there is room for Jesus. And this is my progress. I have just a tiny bit left, but the reason I stopped is this very colorful thread was what was supposed to be up here. And I was like, do I like that? Do I want to frog it and put this blue color down here too? And after talking it over with Beth, I decided just leave it and finish it in the colorful thread, which is DMC 4507.
Is that a chorus or a color variation?
I think it's a color variation. And I love the saying, and I think the pattern is beautiful. And I want to finish it so that I can FFO it for this Christmas. And
You're not that far, huh?
no, I really only stopped because I couldn't decide. Now, there's several rows down here underneath. Sorry, there's several rows down here underneath the pattern, underneath the stable. And I left enough fabric where I could do all those rows if I want to, but I'm thinking I'm not going to. I'm probably only going to do a couple of more rows because I don't think it's necessary. So, yeah. And I found this when I was looking for the wolf pattern, and I said, oh yeah, I need to finish that. I would like to FFO the other berry, definitely. And I have, so I have the little candy cane that goes on the top, and I also have the peppermints that go in the
In the O's?
in the O's.
Oh.
Yeah, I have those. The big one doesn't have any of those, but I have that for the other berry. And I'll take a picture of the back so you can see this that I'm talking about. But I kind of would like to get all that FFO'd. After we move and I have my sewing machine and get set up, which might take all of November, I should still have time to do at least the berry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, my pumpkin, which is designed by the caffeinated snail.
That's so funny, something like that.
I
She has
I had not heard that name before.
I thought I told you.
I guess I might not pay attention or whatever. That's very funny.
She has a lot of free patterns. There are many, many very good patterns. The caffeinated snail, and you can find her. I think I found her on a website. I mean, because I watched her TikTok or her YouTube, I don't know what, and her name is Kimberly Arianis. Anyway, her shop is the Caffeinated Snail, and she has free patterns. Excuse me. So when we had all those storms blowing through with all the dust storms and everything, my lungs took a beating. So I finished the pumpkin. Now,
It's really cool. Oh, sorry.
I finished the
just wanted
pumpkin
to-
more than once.
Fits and starts, fits and starts.
I
like the plaid.
I finished it with a dark brown, excuse me,
The dark brown stem.
excuse me, yes, a dark brown stem
And dark brown
and
streaks.
dark brown streaks. And it looked okay. But I really didn't like it. I didn't like the dark brown.
I like this. Looks like corn.
I don't really care for the bobble one just because it sticks out so much. And I
Yeah.
tried making it not stick out, and it's just, I can't.
Yeah.
So,
If you make it again, you could leave that one off or make it different. And this one seems thinner because it's just a simple stitch. Like it's not as wide, you know?
I think I made it as wide as it was supposed to be, but I was just done.
I really like the plaid. That's my favorite part.
Mm.
The
What if you
bad
made
thing,
the whole pumpkin out of that plaid?
That would be
look
pretty, huh?
Cute.
but stitching the plaid or which other one? The stripes?
The one with the red and white?
This one?
No, this
No.
one.
Not
This-
that one.
the
The other,
vertical
no, the horizontal stripes.
That one.
That one. Stitching those is a little bit frustrating because the horizontal stripes are crocheted this way. And then when you work on the pattern, so, here, let me see.
This whole thing was made like that?
Mm-hmm. So the rows go this way when you're crocheting. So you're having to carry a thread, and the same thing on the plaid. You're having to carry the other color underneath as you crochet.
Yeah.
So that you're not having
1,000 ends.
1,000 ends to weave in.
Yeah.
It just looks neater. But you have to crochet it in a way that you can't see that, and that is more difficult than you would think, especially when one is very light and the other one isn't, like the orange and the white. But I really love, one of the things I loved about doing this is learning new stitches. Another thing I liked about doing it is that I was making something for the home for myself that was not particularly expensive or
Time consuming.
particularly difficult,
Yeah.
you know?
Just something fun.
Right. So I finished Yoda, Baby Yoda. I put the eyeballs on. I bought buttons and put eyeballs on.
How'd that work out? Aw, perfect.
They look great. I'm really happy with them. And then I finished Chewbacca, little eyeballs, and then that's supposed to be a mouth, but I put it where it's supposed to be. It looks like a nose to me. But
That's cute.
I really like that. And then for Robert, I'm thinking of making Darth Vader. He really likes Darth Vader. This black one. But crocheting with black is really hard for me.
Very hard.
It's hard to see
easier with the new eyes.
Yeah, but it's still hard to see the
Hard for
stitches.
everybody.
Yeah.
Anytime you're knitting or crocheting with a dark color,
Yeah.
seeing the light between the stitches is difficult.
I had a thought with this sweater of one day. I thought I'm gonna, after I make one for me and I like it and I know it that I like it, I would make one for Hannah because I told you like I feel like I owe her a sweater. So and I was like, oh, it'd be neat if it was black and she could wear it to perform in. And then I thought, black yarn.
Yeah, black yarn is very difficult. Before I show you my blanket, which has its own story behind it, I'm going to talk about my reindeer. And I have not been talking about it, but I have been working on it.
The crochet one?
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering about that last week. I was like, because I saw the picture in the gallery and I was like, wait a minute.
So I finished all 11 of the first shape, which they call they have names for all these shapes. Heptagon, hexagons, and then I also did 2 hexy legs. I need to make 8 hexy legs. I've gotten 2 done. And I have been studying how to put the darn things together. And at first I went, what? Huh? And it's got pictures, it's got diagrams and all that. And I'm like, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into?
This is why I have
And then-
several whips, because things like that start to happen and I'm like, nah.
Well, then, as I was studying it yesterday, with legs and these, you know, kind of going, I don't have all the shapes, so, you know, but I'm like, I think I understand now.
Do you have these kind of, these like kind of stitch markers?
No, I have the other kind.
The plastic. I'm saying like you could use, saying locking ones where you can put it together with stitch markers.
I'm going to do that so that it's together because you have to match the stitches for stitches.
Yeah.
So that I can do the corners and get it to, where I don't have to hold it while I'm doing it, and have it laid out so that I know what I'm doing. Now the legs are fairly easy because there's 4 legs, so I need to make 8, and I've only made 2. But each leg has 2 of those legs that I've just showed, so I have 1 leg done. And you stitch the sides together to make a little circle. And I'm like, okay, I'm getting that. And then it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so, blah, 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 A, B, C, D, and you connect the A's and the A's and the ones and the ones together.
I see.
I'm like, oh, okay. My sad blanket. Okay, so
It turned from your FOMO blanket to your sad blanket.
it'll be FOMO again. So
Watch out, Beth.
the part I got done was the gingerbread.
Ooh, you weren't kidding.
No, I wasn't kidding. And this is after several attempts, okay?
Oh, no.
So the part I got done was the gingerbread up here. I decided to leave this until later. And just watch the whole freaking thing.
Yeah.
So I liked the way the gingerbread finally came out. By the time I finished the gingerbread part, I went, I'm so tired of this. I need to put it down for a minute. Because, and this should really be in stories, but I have more to talk about, and I have this in my hands. I have this, I showed you the bag that it's in. I had a drink, a Dutch Brothers drink, which Dutch Brothers, if you think about Starbucks, it's kind of like that, but
Only
not.
better.
It's a lot better. It's not the flavor of the drinks that's better. The variety, and they have a lot of sugar-free drinks that they offer. And anyway, I got a modern one that they have called the Pumpkin Slasher. And it's orange drink. Now the orange is not sugar-free. It was an orange Rebel Pumpkin Slasher. And
Is it kind of ice creamy, or ice?
I had them blend that one.
Yeah.
But I had about this much at the bottom, and I didn't put it on the TV tray because once they knocked one off of the TV tray, but I put it on the end table because they can't knock the end table down, right? Two dogs almost lost their lives because we came back from a very short time away, and one of them had tried, I had a piece of paper underneath the drink. I should have put a real coaster under there, but I had a piece of paper under there. And one of them said, I want to chew on that paper. And so they yanked the paper out. I know this because the paper was chewed up. The drink went upside down into my bag that I have.
I didn't realize this. I heard her screaming from the other. But I was in the kitchen.
I did not take any pictures or video because it would have been of me
killing dogs.
Say the bad words.
I did not beat the dogs. I wanted to. But I was so mad because it was upside down. It dripped all down the side of the blanket, mostly on this blue
The candle part.
blue candle part, but also it hit, and I don't know how it didn't hit this green part, but it hit. Part of it got on and now that I was able to clean off.
Yeah, I was gonna say it doesn't look.
You don't see the orange one now. One of them was completely orange.
Oh my god.
and a couple of days later, because I wet it quite a bit to try to clean it off, and so it was wet, and I had to let it dry. And then I called Naomi. It's stiff as pork. She's like, well, just soak it, and I tried, and I let it dry,
Just put
and
it in the sink and just let it.
it's still stiff. So I lost a couple of days being able to work on it, like okay, 4 days being able to work on it because it was being cleaned.
Yeah,
And
I went to use the restroom one night, and I guess in the middle of the night or something, and I came in, and there's like this blanket hanging over the shower, and the ball of yarn in the back, in the thing.
so
This is still attached.
not
Yeah.
only did it get on the blanket, it dripped down the side into the bottom of the thing. So I'm cleaning orange off of my bag.
Oh, man.
Fortunately, the lining I could pull out and really kind of get at it, but it's still orange. And it dripped on unused yarn. I'm like, fortunately, that was just drips and relatively easy. I can cut those pieces out once I get to them.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, I am going to kill me some dogs. And
As I
so
always tell
now
her, now
I
you know
walk
why.
it to the kitchen.
Yeah, you know why I always say now, I am going to beat you with a stick.
I know.
Oh, but yeah, so
It's just empty.
they're lucky they survived that. Lastly, we went to the attic, and I was looking for, because of the 250th anniversary of the United States coming up, I wanted some time to stitch something to commemorate that. And I looked at some of the newer patterns. I almost got hands-on design, those little bands that go around the little pillows. And I thought, I love those. They're so, and the designs are beautiful. I'm like, I really love them. But I don't want to do that.
The bands that go around pillows.
I'll see if I can get a picture to put here, but you make 3 pillows, and it's just a little band that you stitch like that goes around the pillows one way and the other way. And she and another designer have been doing those.
Huh.
So there's another designer that has 3 more sets. Another set of 3
I see.
of patriotic little pillows with bands on them.
I see.
And I really liked it, but I thought, I like the patterns of the bands, but do I really want to do little bands and pillows, and will I get that done? And then I said, I'll have to think about that. And I walked away for a while. I was just in there to talk about the hands-on design pattern that I had ordered and still isn't in. So I walked around. If you've been to the attic, certain designers, you have to go find an area that has a designer, and they don't have necessarily all the patriotic together, although there are areas where they do have patriotic together. But I didn't see anything that I particularly liked. And then I went to Erica Michael because I do a lot of her designs.
I love her.
And I found Americana Blues. And it's a pillow and a berry. And the berry says America. And then it says 1776. The pillow says America and July 4th, 1776. And I like both of them. I almost bought the threads for it. And then I said, no, I don't want to spend any money on threads. I want to just buy the pattern. And if I want the threads later, I can always go back. We are in the same town. Not the same town, but the same vicinity. And but then I went to the car, and I was waiting for Beth, and I took the pattern out, and I'm looking at the pattern, and I said, oh, there's little star beads.
Oh, let me see. Oh, yeah,
Little
pillows.
star
Oh,
beads.
came with
They go on the
beads.
pillow.
Pillows, yeah.
Can
Yeah,
I see
buttons,
that?
I mean.
Can I see it better? It's so pretty.
Yeah. So, but I'm looking at it and going, but the berry doesn't say July 4th, which kind of is disappointing to me. And so I'm looking at the pattern going, is there a way I can have it say July 4th? Is it necessary? No. But maybe I'll just do the pillow. And then I said, but I kind of would like it say 1776 to 2026. And
you could replace July 4 and put 1776 20.
but I like the July 4 too.
I was gonna see, she can just leave one of these, put it in place of one of these lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could.
Yeah.
You know,
So it could be.
I think I can modify it. But then, while I was looking at it, I said,
I says to myself, I says,
I have sparkly red fabric.
oh.
It might be big enough to do the pillow. I don't know about the berry.
Yeah.
I don't know about both. I'd have to measure what I have. I don't know what I have left.
That's
Honestly.
really pretty. I like that.
And I said, if I used a dark blue, whatever the DMC conversion is for the dark blue, but in place of the light blue, used white, it would be red, white, and blue. And I'm like, would I like that? I might. So, lots of decisions to make. And it wasn't intended to be a it's not bicentennial.
What's that called? We were just talking about it.
Yeah. I don't know what it is.
It wasn't intended to be a 250th anniversary. And I haven't seen any of the ones that are commemorating the 250th anniversary that speak to me. But this one, I'm like, I could make this be...
Semi-quincentennial.
Yeah.
Well, because quincentennial would be 300. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Semi-quincentennial.
Quincentennial will be 500.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
Semi-quincentennial. There we go.
So, that's my haul. Now, I did... I did offer, nobody spoke in for the cat pattern. So we have one person that said Christmas that wanted these, no. These two, Dirty Annie's pattern, Feliz Navidad and OMG Tree. Feliz Naughty Dog, sorry. And I've completely forgotten your name. I knew it when we started.
Okay.
You told me the name, but I can't remember now.
That
She said Christmas twice.
was Francesca Sanchez.
Yeah.
So our email link is below. If you could email me with your mailing address, and I will get these off to you. And then we had two people that wanted the berry patterns. So
Let me pull that up.
we're
1 second.
we're gonna use the decision roulette right now to decide who's gonna get those.
I have it. Move my screen.
Beth knows how to work her phone.
I thought she had it up already.
I did at one point, and then
And then we had time and she looked at her phone.
okay. So Mary Passmore and Elaine Williford were the two people. So now I'm going to spin. Spinning.
It almost went to the second person.
Elaine Williford is the winner of
Congratulations, Elaine.
Congratulations.
Yes.
I hope you enjoy these patterns as much as I did. I'm glad they're going to a good home. Now on OMG Tree, you're also getting the things that go on the tree. I didn't use them. It wasn't because I didn't like them. It's because I forgot. And I've already FFO'd it, so...
So Francesca, you're getting extra buttons. As a
No,
bonus.
Elaine. Elaine.
No, Elaine's getting the berries.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sorry.
Francesca
Francesca's
Sanchez asked
getting-
for the Christmas one.
So,
Somebody's getting buttons.
email us the
Your address.
your address where you'd like us to send those.
Yes.
And that's neat.
Okay.
All right, it's time for both.
Okay, so let me just pull this needle to the back here for this. Okay, so So,
How the pug can end up not in the middle.
oh,
Yeah,
because,
because I was.
you know, it was manhandling it, and you were looking at it, not doing something. Anyway, hey. So I had, last weekend, when we did our thing, I was still working on one of my new starts for September. Holiday Stroll by Teresa Kogut. And I don't know what, I was trying to figure out when I started this exactly. I have it written down somewhere, but not on my phone. Because, you know, I have Thread Stash on my phone, and I had somehow not put the threads in for this pattern when I got it. And also there's a place where you could put, you know, like whether it's not started or when you started it, blah, blah, blah. And so I realized I hadn't put any of that stuff in there. So I was trying to remember off the top of my head, and but I started it sometime before last Saturday. Because I had done part of it, that we had that discussion about the dirty snowman or the white snowman or whatever. So I finished the snowman. I didn't do
I can see the snow.
what do you call it? Yeah. Outlining it, backstitching around the snowman. I had auditioned, I had looked at a couple of blues.
I don't think it needs it.
But I don't think, I think that now that it's finished with the arms but what he's missing is little cheek, because I didn't have that pink, there's the little square for his cheek there. And it's the same color as the nose on this cat, and I didn't put it in yet because somehow I have all the DMC threads, all or most of them. If I don't have all of them, I have almost all of them. But it's, I don't know, it's in one of my other patterns or something, and so I don't know where it is. But that's one that I didn't have with the threads for this pattern. But and the reason I've got so much done on it is I went all the way until on the 1st, I guess, all the way to the 1st, working on it, because I thought, well, I just want to finish this part. Then I would be working on it late at night, and I would fall asleep, and I well, I'm just going to finish this. And part of it was this snowman. I wanted to finish the snowman just because I just wanted to get it done. But in order to get it done, I had to do this. I wanted to do this little tree, and I wanted to do his hands and his nose and his hat and all that stuff.
Slippery slope.
Yeah, so I was like, and I wanted to finish Santa's boot and Santa's glove and all that stuff.
You just wanted to finish the pattern.
Yeah. So and I was like, I could just keep working on it.
You could.
But yeah, I could.
There's no cross stitch.
But my October WIP-GO stuff, and I was gonna start on the 1st. I was gonna work on this until like midnight, and then I could start on my October stuff. But then I found myself just wanting to finish.
I forgot one pattern. Go ahead.
Oh, to finish certain sections of it, and so like this darker color, I finished like all of this what is it, crimson edging on Santa's robe, and I did this pocket, and I did the little kitty cat that's sticking out of his pocket, and I did like this brown edging of his robe, and there's some more brown edging that goes on underneath this red of the streak on his hat, and I was like, all I could do Santa's beard, and I could do the edging on his hat, and I could and I'm like, I've got to stop, because I want to get started on my October stuff, and
you're enjoying that.
But I was having fun, yeah. So I just kept going, and I especially wanted to finish the snowman, because one other thing was that I made a mistake where the snowman's arms are, because I did the tree first, and then I was putting in his arms, and one of them, there's like a horizontal line, and then the little sort of upward angle on his arm starts like on the 3rd stitch of this horizontal line, and I started it on the 2nd stitch, so it's like off by 1. And so when I was doing the snowman, I thought, well, is that gonna impact like the shape of the head of the snowman, right? The arm and the middle ball and the head, because you know they decline by 1 stitch or 2 stitches or whatever, and because of where the arm was, the carrot nose was off by 1, and you know, certain things were right and certain things were wrong because of that arm. And so I was able, fortunately, to just put as many rows in as was required in the pattern, except for like where the nose is or whatever. But so I wanted to finish it to make sure that the shape of the head was right and everything else. So I think it is. And if it doesn't show up on camera from a distance as much. Maybe it does.
Looks fine to me.
Yeah, when you see it up close, you can actually see it.
Oh, the snowman, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but the like his pant legs, there's white empty squares here, and of course his robe, and that's because I was missing their 2 weeks Dyerworks colors that were there. There's 3 weeks colors in this pattern. The main color of his robe, and that missing color of his pant legs, and then this dark color that outlines his robe. So those are 3 weeks colors, and the rest are DMC. And I was missing 2 of the weeks colors until we went to the attic, and I bought them. Anyway, so that is how far I got on Holiday Stroll. My thumb is cramping, my hand is cramping. Anyway, so there's that one. Just set it over here to get it out of the way. And so for my WIP-GO, one of my WIP-GO calls was the ferret. And this is part of the what is it called? A Year in the Woods by Cottage Garden Samplings. And so this is number 5, the ferret. And let me just take the hoop off for a second.
There, now you have more room. Now you have more room.
Oh, thank you.
So cute.
Yeah, so I thought about doing more of the flowers and stuff like that, but I realized I was kind of more or less, I was pretty far on the ferret's body. So I just had been working on that, and I finished all the little crisscrossy star kind of things on his body, and I'm working on the white of his, like, along his body, his belly and his tail and all that. There's some white stitches, and so this little section here, I just got a few rows of the white on there, and then the rest of those little star patterns are filled in with there's two fancy flosses. I think they're both weeks. Yeah, driftwood and saffron. This saffron is this yellow flower. There's like 3 yellow flowers, and the other driftwood is the main color of his body, this brown of his body. So I was finishing up like this part of his like his neck in that driftwood, and then I realized I wanted to go ahead and finish the little star things because it's easier to do. The driftwood is just you could just do row and row of fill in if all those star things are done, and so that's where I'm at in his body. I wanted to do there's some gray and white and all that. And I did a little bit of the dark brown of his body, but then again, like I said, I wanted to finish those little star things because the brown is like, you know, along his body and his hip and, you know, and his tail eventually. So I think I'm just going to concentrate on finishing the ferret himself, and then because I was looking at, you know, at this and I'm like, you know, it's kind of complicated, like in terms of, you know, do I do like one stitch at a time? Do I do back and forth, out and back? And it's kind of a combination to get from, you know, to get to the end of this row and do the next row, whatever. I'm going to probably end up doing a combination of one stitch at a time, and then you know, like half stitches and back, and then one stitch at a time and half stitches back. So in order to go logically from one row to the next. So I thought, you know, it's too complicated for my brain right now, so I'm just going to concentrate on the ferret, because I can do the ferret easily. But yeah, so that's coming along very nicely. And then, one of my new starts I've talked about before is Dutch Winter. I'm going to start that on my birthday. My hand is crampy. And this was sent to me for my birthday by Teresa last year, I guess. And it, like I said, it has a bunch of like extras in there. It has a little card where you can put your start date and other details on there. And it came with floss drops and a really cute needle minder. It's a miniature of the picture here. And I talked about last week about how I was looking through my fabrics and trying to find one that, you know, and I was thinking about using a brown fabric that I had that was the right size, but I decided instead to dye fabric. And I was going to go to Naomi's house and use the dyes that she had. One color of blue dye that, since all of mine are in storage. But I was at Walmart the other day and I just decided on a whim to buy a blue. And I thought about, there were two different colors there. One was aquamarine and the other was another shade of blue. I don't remember what. And I dithered back and forth between the two of them because I wanted this, you know, blue color. And actually, when we were at the attic, I was looking at some of the blue fabrics that they had, and I didn't want to spend like, you know, $40-something on the, you know, an expensive fabric, and I didn't have the exact dimensions, and I really didn't know like if they had fabrics that I could have cut down or whatever. And even so, like I said, off the top of my head, I didn't have the dimensions. And I don't think I had them written down on my phone either. So I was looking at like some of their more inexpensive fabrics, and then nothing was quite the color that I wanted or whatever. So I didn't want to, you know, purchase something and then decide that I didn't like the color or whatever. So I decided that I would indeed dye fabric for this. Because I wanted a blue sky instead of brown sky. And I wanted something that the white would show up on. So this morning, I had a couple of like leftover. I had a butter dish, a butter tub, and a Talenti container. And so when I was at Walmart, I bought this aquamarine color, and it's a little more turquoisey than I wanted, but I think the effect is very nice. This hasn't been ironed, so it's part of what you're seeing is wrinkles. But the modeling came out very nice, and it's you know, a little bit darker blue than I had kind of envisioned in my head a lighter blue, but I think the color still works very nicely, and the white will show up very well on here as well as the other colors in the pattern. But so I did this, and one of the things I did, you know, I watched a whole bunch of dyeing videos, fabric dyeing videos, of different techniques and different things. One of the things I was interested in was ice dyeing, because I've seen, I've heard a lot of people mention that. But all the ones I saw were using powdered dye instead of liquid dye.
I've seen ice dyeing with wool.
Yeah, and so
It's cool.
yeah, but so you know, I don't have powdered dyes, and I just have liquid dyes, and so some of the liquid techniques were very interesting, and one that Eve had seen,
I saw it on Unfinished Stitches.
yeah. The way she dyes fabric is like, you know, once she's dyed it, she puts it to dry like on a cookie sheet basically. And if she wants to add a little more modeling, you know, she crunches the fabric up and then puts a little dye in the, like say the wells of the crunches of the fabric, right? And so, so I had kind of done that. I had dyed it in that little butter tub. I had squished it up in the butter tub. But it had a lot of areas that I thought, you know, it's a little light colored, and so I did put it on the cookie sheet, and I put, you know, a little bit of dye here and there in these little wells of the fabric, scrunched up wells of the fabric, and the video she had watched, the person like puts the fabric in the oven to dry it in the oven. And that's always scared me a little bit, because I think Stitching with the Housewives, one of the earlier videos they had where they tea or coffee dyed their fabric, they like put it in the oven, and they, you know, said you have to watch it very carefully and take it out right away, otherwise you'll burn your fabric. And so that's always kind of like scared me, because I don't want to do that. And so, but since we live here in Arizona, the sun is very bright, and it's usually very hot outside. So I stuck it out there to dry in the sun, and it was mostly dry. And then Eve brought it in for me. It was slightly damp, and so stuck it in the dryer.
It was drier on the bottom than on the top because that pan was hot.
Yeah, I guess yeah.
When I brought that pan in, I'm like, hot, 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 hot.
So yeah, we just ran it through the dryer, and it dried very nicely. So I think this is the fabric I'm going to use for Dutch Winter.
I think it's pretty.
Yeah, and this is just 28 count Monaco Lugana. And then also, while we were at the attic, and because of the
Oh, wait, what was it?
semi-quintessenal, is that right?
Semi-quincentennial. Quincentennial.
Semi-quincentennial. I'm doing this, I chose this Barbara Ann design, and I looked at several, because they had a patriotic section. And there were several that I liked. Like there was one I really liked the saying of it. Had a Benjamin Franklin quote that goes, "Where liberty dwells, there is my country." So I think it's how it goes, something like that. And this one particular pattern had like a simple like flag. It had two patterns in the packet, right? So one was a flag, a simple flag pattern, and the other one was the quote. But and then there was one pattern I saw that was like a couple flags or something, and it had I think part of the Benjamin Franklin quote. And so neither one was quite what I wanted. And you know, I'm not a very, I don't have a lot of patriotic stitching. I don't think I have any patriotic stitching. And so I do want to do something for the
Semi-quincentennial.
centennial.
I have to look it up on my phone.
But, you know, but I wanted to do, you know, something specifically that I really liked because, like I said, I don't have a lot to choose from. And I had seen actually something in some of the new patterns that have just come out. I saw one that I really liked, but I don't remember the pattern itself anymore. So I know. And so I was at the attic and I was looking, and they had a bin. They have a little section in there of old patterns that you can get like 50% off, and they had a bin of patriotic things. So I was looking through there, and so that's why I was torn between this one and one other one, because this one is a little bit whimsical, I guess you could say, but I really liked it because it's got a big crow and Uncle Sam riding in the back of the crow, and Betsy Ross with a needle and a bunch of thread. And then across the top it says 1776, and then underneath it says "Long may she wave." So I finally decided on this Barbara Anna thing, and I had seen this before. Someone on somebody's Flosstube, I'd seen this design before, and so where it says 1776, I might modify that as well to say
26.
46 or what is it?
2026. Oh my gosh.
2026 on there somewhere.
So when you know how she keeps missaying something, when I went to order Dutch a couple of days ago, I went to order Robert's coffee, and Long Island iced tea came out of my mouth. I'm like, I am at the wrong restaurant for that.
But yeah, so this is the one I chose, and fortunately it's all DMC threads in the back, so it's like I didn't have to, because I thought, gosh, you know, do I need to buy specialty threads for that? And matter of fact, one of the patterns that I bought at the Harvest Moon hangout, when I got I bought a PDF download, and because our printer, we're very low, I guess, on the color ink, and so I didn't want to print the whole pattern because I wanted the color printing, but I didn't want to print, you know, like several pages, and so I printed just the cover page and like the page that has like the dimensions, you know, of the thread. I didn't even print off the page that had like the color key on it, and so I didn't even know if it's all DMC, if it's got fancy floss, whatever. I have no idea, because I thought, oh, I can check that thread, and I'm like, no, I don't have it, and I didn't want to open the download and blah blah blah. So I may buy some more threads, and there are some that I have to order. I have to see if I can find that Santa Cruz color, because it wasn't, like I said, that at the attic didn't have it. And I do have to buy some cottage garden thread. I'm still missing a few colors for a couple of projects that I have. So I want to do that. But other than that, that's me.
All right.
So what I forgot.
Oh yeah, Eve had another.
Beth saying that she worked into the first reminded me that I started before the first on my new start, because I had finished what I'd been working on, the candy swirls, and I was like working on, you know, we do geek or whatever, and it's like, I'm going to start that. And what I started was
Oh yeah,
Trick or Treat by
Barbara Ann.
Barbara Anna. Just the cutest little cat.
That is adorable.
Cutest little cat. And of course I kept getting interrupted, so I didn't do as much on it as I would have liked, but this is a day and a half's worth of stitching. You got a little body, little legs.
Oh, that's cute.
I'm like, okay. It's more than I did on the other two that I started last month. Those, it's like, that's a start. That's Pam's barely started. That she would rotate her BS wheel.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so now it is time for our question of the week. Last week we asked if you do seasonal stitching. We had a couple of answers. Homespun in Wales. Thanks. I think that's cool. You're tuning in from Wales. That's really neat. She's been just pulling out her autumn decorations that she's all handcrafted. I would love to see those. She's made a few fabric pumpkins to add to the collection, and she likes to change the decor with every season. And then Mary Passmore says she's not a seasonal stitcher. She stitches what she wants when she wants. Let's see, Vicky Campbell says that she's getting in the mood to do some Christmas stitching now. And 2 of her WIP-GO calls last month and now October are Christmas, so that's fun. And then Francesca Sanchez says that she started on some Halloween stitching, but and enjoys a turkey piece for Thanksgiving. And then at Christmas, she's going to be heavy on the ornament stitching because it gives her a sense of accomplishment to do something small. I like that. Yeah, because at the holidays, you don't want to be. It's fun to have like. I always think like I want something that is holiday themed during the holiday, even if I don't finish it, because it's like I'm working on a Santa or something like that. Like then I get frustrated because I don't finish it, and then I'm super busy. So I like the idea of doing ornaments because those are small.
Well, you know,
so
when we were at the attic, they had the new Prairie Schooler Santa, and I have like one that's waiting to be stitched. It's on my WIP-GO board as a new start. That's I think it's the 2023 or 24 Santa, and then I almost bought the new one, and I thought, you
get caught up.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of
Done.
Yeah, I'm kind of done with those. As a matter of fact, I have 2 or 3. I think I gave you one, the first one that I did, and then I have one that I have a couple that are stitched but not FFO'd, I think, or something like that. I don't know. But so I was like, do I really want to do that? I don't know.
It'll just be another
so
monkey on your back.
Yeah, and I've got the Prairie Schooler Starry Night set that I finished stitching, but I have to cut it apart in FFO, and then of course I think it's in storage now.
Yeah.
So
that'll be a fun project when you get set up.
Yeah, because I think I have the fabric for it, but I have to like make cording and.
Yeah, but once we have a craft room, that'll be easier.
Yeah. So that leads us into our question for this week. So they're about to move, and they are acquiring an extra room that can be a craft room. So they've been thinking and talking about how they're going to get that set up. And I have adopted my daughter's room as my craft room, although some people might call it a crap room. So anyway, they will remain nameless. But no, I'm just kidding. And so we're wanting to know, what is your craft storage? Do you have a room dedicated, or do you have an area dedicated? Is it just the arm of your couch, which is fair? So just tell us about your crafting space, your home, your space.
Yeah.
How do you enjoy that at home? And have you been able to? Are you fortunate enough to have a special room dedicated? How do you keep it away from your cats? That's always interesting to us. And dogs, apparently. Pet security is a big deal in our house.
Right now, I have my foot on the tug-of-war thing because she was chewing the little plastic thing that holds it together.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not what you're supposed to chew on.
Pets. So last night I was, I had, talking about pet security, I was working on this the 4th time, and I had to go to the bathroom desperately. And of course, Hobbs is lounging on the floor. And I thought, I know. You can look as uninterested and as distant, asleep, whatever. But if I leave this room, you are going to take that opportunity to get my wool, to drag it across the house, to bite it and bite holes in it. So I took my blanket and covered up all my yarn that was there on the arm of my chair because I didn't want to. I didn't have my little box, and I didn't have it in a. I put it in this. I put it in this clear bag for right now, but I didn't have it in a project bag, so I couldn't stuff it in. So I just had it because I really dig in this thing. This is fun. But anyway, so pet security is utmost. So I'm curious, along with your crafting space, if you have pets, and I know, like, I see these people on YouTube and their cats just come and they sit there. I'm like, or like a cat in a yarn shop. In Albuquerque, there was a cat in the yarn shop. I'm like, my cat would eat all of this if it was 100% wool. It smells like a sheep. He's like, So that's our question of the week. Please let us know. And if you have any genius ideas for storage and organization, these two are about this. They're gonna get in a fresh start, so that's fun.
Yeah,
we'd love to hear that.
It's very exciting to me, the idea, because we have an extra room in this house right now, that theoretically could have been a craft room, but around the time we were thinking about it,
you decided to move.
We were moving, and so we were, cleaning things up and putting things away
Staging.
so that
having to constantly take things down and
because whenever we had a showing, we had to have the house looking pristine, and so we didn't want to have a pile of crap.
And all your stuff was in storage.
Right.
So
and then we put everything in storage. So now it's like, well, okay, so we'll have in this room, we're going to have it be / guest room, kind of like if Mary Lou or Tim or somebody comes over for Christmas or whatever. We have a place
but
they can sleep.
But if we have a futon, and my TV is going to be in there rather than in my room.
Then it's a room where we could
sit
at. Somebody could sit and somebody could sleep in there. And
which takes up some of the space.
But there'll be, if there's a futon in there, then there's a place to sit for whatever, and but then we'll have a closet where we can put all our pattern fabric and because one of the things I've been very jealous of in watching people's Flosstubes or whatever is when they have a craft room and they've got all their stuff here, and they've got an ironing board, and they've got their patterns, and they've got
I still don't think I'd be able to sew in there because I would need a bigger table. But I saw on Shady's Shore Stitcher, I think is what it's called. I saw an ingenious way that she decided to put her cross stitch fabric. She had it by count, but she got boot hangers, because they have protected little pincher thingies rather than kind of like what you would hang up pants, but closer together.
And they don't damage the boot.
And they don't damage the boot. They don't damage the leather, so they don't have teeth, right? And she has them hanging in the closet in her space.
Nice.
She has them hanging by count, so she can just go in there and go. To find the fabric she wants rather than me digging in my thing. I have it fairly separated, but still I have to,
So in my craft, in my craft room, I was very fortunate enough to be able to get something called a dream box, If you look those up, they're different now because they keep improving them, and I see them online sometimes, and I'm like, but no, I can't get a new one. The one I have is the one I have until I die, because they are obscenely, they're kind of expensive. But I'm so pleased that I was able to do that. And it basically, when it folds all up, so when Hannah comes home, I fold it up, but it opens, and then opens again. So it's like a big, it's got storage in every single part, and it's got a table. So and when even when the table is put up, I can still have room for one of my sewing machines, my big one, and then my other sewing machines even fit in the bottom of it. So it's really nice to kind of be able to put everything away. And you know, when Hannah's not there, when no one's in the room, I have it open and I have all my stuff there, and so it's been really nice.
Well, you can have your sewing machine there too. I thought about that.
And you were talking about, so one of the other things I did for myself, because I do have a big ironing board, but putting that in Hannah's room with the bed and all my junk is not conducive unless I'm sewing a dress or something. Even so, a lot of times I'll leave it out in the dining room and iron and then go back in and sew. But one of the things that Missouri Star Quilt Company, that's my dog, not Eve. Missouri Star Quilt Company has a video on making a little ironing table for yourself
out of a TV tray.
Out of a TV tray.
And we have some old TV trays we could do that with.
So I bought a TV tray from Walmart.
You can buy those plastic ones.
No, it's a wooden one. I would not do plastic.
Excuse me.
It's a wooden one, but it's a little fun because it's oversized. It's a big one, but it has, instead of a rectangle, it's got curved edges, which kind of caused a little bit of a problem. But I did that, and you make an ironing cover with like a board, like even I think it's cardboard that I did, covered in foil, and then batting, and then
they have a whole video on it. It's really good.
Yeah, it's really nice. And then a cover that you cinch up. I can't even remember now, but I think you make a casing and so you can tie it. And you know it because the thing is shaped funny. It's slipped a little, but it serves its purpose.
I was gonna say, among all the things from Mom's house that we have, what we have is she had a little miniature ironing board.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
But I actually hate those.
Yeah.
Because you have to have a surface
Yeah.
on which to put it.
Yeah.
Where this is its own surface.
Yeah.
And then so like if I'm sewing or whatever, I can have it right here. If I'm quilting, I can just iron the piece and then keep quilting and iron the piece. So or like if I'm making a dress or whatever.
So
really nice.
Even if I'm sewing out in the living room the dining room, because we're going to have an actual dining room. Even if I'm sewing there, I can pull it over here, but it can stay in the craft room if we want to iron like something like that.
Yeah. And then, what's nice about it is it folds up like a TV tray.
Yeah.
And it's small. And even its footprint when it's open is right there by your chair.
Yeah.
Look up that video. It's really easy to make. I just used I had this camping fabric that I had bought, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna use this for, and it was enough. So it's dark, and sometimes it's hard to see things that I'm ironing on it. But and right now I think it's covered in glitter from my gala dress last year.
So when I was cleaning stuff up, I found a yard of fabric that I had purchased at some point in this past year. I went, oh, I like that, and I bought it.
Well, there you go.
And then, so I could use that. It's flowers or something. And then when I was at Walmart the other day, I was like, I like the patriotic fabric. It's not as bright as I would like. It's more of a faded old,
Well, 250 years is a long time.
Yeah,
It's gonna be faded.
but I bought one that's just different patterns like this, kind of a quilted look, right? But I could quilt on that.
Yeah.
And then just stars. I was like,
Yeah. I was
that's
gonna
how
say-
hopeful I am of having a sewing machine again.
Yes, that's nice. For that ironing board, you need to make sure that you use cotton batting.
Yeah.
rather than polyester. I think I can't remember now what I did. But they have that video, and then they have others like tabletop ones with like sheetrock or something, some kind of, or like a tile.
I have an ironing pad. I could put that in there.
The wool one. Yeah, I have one too. You know where it is? It's on top of my dream box. Do you know why?
Because the cat gets it.
Because of the wool hunter. I can't have it out. So
If you covered it with fabric and put it on a TV tray, could you have it?
well, it kind of defeats the purpose, because what's nice about ironing, especially
Yeah.
Quilt blocks, is that the
You can steam through it, or
well, it holds the steam better,
yeah.
and the seams sink into the wool instead of on a hard surface like this. The seam is there, and so the fabric gets a little bump like that.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're on a wool mat, the seam sinks into the thing, so you actually get a very flat surface. So that's why those are really nice for quilting. I have a very small one.
Mine is about the size of the top of a
TV tray? Well,
TV
that would
tray.
be excellent. Yeah, you could have that out. And you don't have a wool hunter in your house, so.
I was going to say,
He
I
loves
saw
that thing.
somebody, I think I can't think of her Flosstube name. But her first name is Christine. But she had, I think she has along one wall, she has her like fancy floss, but on a wire hanger strung across it, and I don't know if she has it on some other kind of like hanger thing, because the when you purchase a thing of fancy floss, it comes on a floss card, but there's like a hole in it, like at the attic, for instance, they have all the flosses hanging on this
Like a peg
thing, and it's the little pegs on it, and so I don't know how she has it, if they're like with
Using
those
those
little
holes.
hookers, things, but they're hanging up there, and it's nice to be able to. I was thinking about that because right now I have my fancy floss, like I have the weeks in one bin and the Gentle Arts in another bin and the other one in another bin, and so I have them on those like flexible little hook, circle things, that you screw together, right? So I have like the ones that start with A and B and C and whatever, just depending on how many I have is how many are on one of those circles. And so like one of them I have is like very full, very fat, But anyway, but they're all in this bin, so they're not really in alphabetical order. I have to okay, these are the A's and B's, and this is the C's and D's, whatever,
Right.
and they're all like.
Do you have I remember you had one of those. I used to make it for like paper crafts. Those drawers,
Yeah.
like thin drawers. Those might be a nice way to store.
Well, I have the first time 5 of them. I have my DMC boxes. I have those plastic boxes with all the DMC bobbins, and only one of those plastic trays fits in a drawer. So the first 5 have all my DMC threads in them, and then the 6th drawer has I have some smaller boxes. One of them is the threads that you gave me, so they're in there, and they're in that box. They're not in numerical order. They're just crammed in the box. And then the bottom drawers I have like random, a pile of random magazines and stuff like that. So, yeah. But the other thing I was thinking about was my cross-stitch patterns. The unstarted patterns are in a binder. And I thought, that's very clever. I'll put them in a binder. That binder is so heavy and so fat. And I thought,
well, maybe you could do several binders.
Yeah. What I was thinking about is those magazine rack holders, and put them on a shelf or something.
Yes.
Because that way they'd be easier to alphabetize, easier to see, because like in the binders, I put them in like page protectors, but I have some that are, you know, full size like this, and some that are small, like this, right? So one like this, will fit pretty nicely in a page protector because it's like basically 8 by 10, maybe a little larger.
But those just fall all over. Yeah,
But these, I ended up like putting just a sheet of paper, you know, just to take up the whole.
Otherwise it's floppy.
Yeah,
Well,
otherwise
One of the
like,
things that we're gonna
yeah.
have to do is figure out how to share the space.
Yeah.
It's not a huge room.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's some things like our stuff for making, the stuff for the Etsy shop, where
Scissor files and-
we're gonna need that all in one space.
Yeah.
But other things, Beth's gonna want her side and I'm gonna want my side kind of thing. But we saved the blades from the fans that, one of the fans that,
Yeah.
that we
That
took
change
down.
out.
And I thought they would make excellent shelves, little shelves.
Oh,
You
that's
know, if we put those little shelf things in the
Yeah.
wall,
Yeah.
or even just the
other,
thing,
the
those would make excellent shelves.
The other thing I was gonna say was, I know you don't wanna spend a lot of money, but IKEA has really cool shelving and container options. And, both kids and us have the same, bookshelf in each room. It's a bookshelf with squares, and it can either go on its side or stand up. And you can get for it, if it's, I think it only works if it's standing. You can get drawers or doors, or you can get just like, they have fabric bins that fit in there, or I think they have plastic square bins that fit in there.
I have some of those bin things that I used to have in my dresser. In the dresser I have right now, and they don't fit. The dresser drawers are too short.
Oh, but these are like, I mean, they're like, so the
But I
shelf
have-
is squares?
I have some big squares
Yeah.
also.
So they're squares like this, and you can, and they make a one that's, is it two sections, I think, squares, and then they make a bigger one.
That might be a better use of space than those little plastic drawers.
Yeah, and then you can put it on its side if you had room this way, and then you have a long tabletop also to put things on. And then you can buy either plastic bins, you can buy the fabric bins, you know, the fabric drawer, they're like, you know, they're all the same size though, everything
Square,
fits.
yeah.
And then you
Yeah,
can
I've
buy
seen
the accessories to put a door on it or drawers. So it's very versatile. I can't remember the name of it, it's something Swedish. And, but I was just thinking like that, I could see that to give you, because,
The
it's
nice
a
thing
lot of
about
space.
the nice thing about the closet is that it's one of those that has. I think that room also has the same type of interior of the closet, where they have like, you know, there's a high shelf and a low shelf and a, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
So various sizes. So we might be able to fit, like, if we keep those rolling plastic drawer things that we have, you know, put them on the bottom, and then on this shelf, put something on this shelf, and something else,
Yeah.
you know, hanging from the
You
top
could,
or
you could
whatever.
get really creative.
Yeah.
Well, I
So
was
that
thinking
most of the
some-
stuff, if most of the stuff is in the closet, then we have a little
More
more
floor
flexibility
space.
for
I was
the room
thinking
itself.
that the project bags that we make can hang in the
Yeah.
closet. That way, once I iron it, they're ironed. I don't have to iron it again.
Before you mail it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have there's a lot of options, and IKEA, you know, their furniture can be a little bit expensive, but their accessories or their smaller things are really reasonable. So,
Yeah, so, yeah, I
One
think we
thing
need
we're gonna
to,
have to do before we do anything else, and it's throughout the house, is remove the carpet.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and Robert said, so, because I said, I don't mind having carpet in my bedroom. I don't want that carpet, but I don't mind having carpet in my bedroom. And he's gonna just stretch it, because that's cheaper and he can be
Yeah.
done quickly. But he said, do you want carpet or tile or the, you know, the wooden, pretend wood
Fake wood.
stuff
Laminate, yeah.
in the craft room? And I said, definitely the laminate.
Yeah.
Because I said, because if we drop a bead or something, we'll never find it
Yeah.
in the.
It'll just soak in. Or and
Or
carpet
spills
holds
or-
pins
Yeah.
like this
Yeah.
for you to step
You
in.
can step on it.
Yeah.
And then things can roll and move more easily. We're gonna redo the floors in the 3 bedrooms shortly. We're gonna do it this summer, didn't I?
Yeah.
But and in Hannah's room, I'm gonna get laminate.
Yeah.
But I think in Eli's room and in our room, we're gonna do carpeting.
Yeah.
But just
well,
something modern that
Yeah,
isn't hideous. like what we have now.
I'm a definitely a laminate floor person because I have cats, and you don't want a cat barfing on a carpet.
Yeah.
You know, because cats will barf no matter what you do.
Well, I told
Yeah,
Robert, I said, I have a little rug that I bought for the room here, because Rogue was afraid to jump on the bed with that laminate flooring. She's like,
It's too slippery.
Yeah.
and so I put that little rug, and I have that little rug. I said, if we put laminate in my room, I would just put that rug in front of my bed, just so that when I step out of bed, I'm not stepping onto cold floor.
Yeah.
Well, you know, when for a long time I had in my room, you know, when we moved into this house, my bedroom, the person who lived here before had used it as a gym. So it had that rubber flooring, you know, it was like padded rubber underneath all of his gym equipment or whatever. And so when we moved in here, they gave us a floor concession because like mom and dad's room needed new carpet or whatever. But so we replaced the floor in my bedroom. So we used laminate flooring or whatever. And I had a little rug beside my bed, right? And then when we were getting ready to move, I just threw the rug away because the cats had barfed on it so many times and whatever, and it was old and it was dirty or whatever. So I just thought, you know, I'll get a new one whenever we move. Oh, a year ago, like. And so
you've been with that one for
yeah, and so like when I get out of bed, sometimes, or when I'm changing my feet on that floor, my feet go zoop.
Oh,
You know? And so when I finally put my shoes on, I'm like, oh, good, I can stand up. Slip. But yeah, so
well,
so
that's why I'm like, Eli, you need carpet in your room for that reason. I have got to go.
Yes.
I've got so much to do today, and tomorrow I'm going to the symphony. It's opening weekend. It's being symphony, and finally got our tickets. I don't get to go for free anymore. I could kind of bat my eyes at my old friends, but I don't want to do that too much. But anyway, so that's fun. We're going to do that tomorrow. And then next week is going to be dodgy because I have a writers conference on Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
fun.
So we have to maybe record later.
Well, my birthday.
And Friday's your birthday, we know,
Yes.
whatever.
Yes.
No, just kidding.
We'll
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We will figure it out. But thank you for joining us again. We're so happy to have so many new subscribers. Thank you for that. And I forgot to look where we are right now.
We have 10 more to
Oh,
go.
one thing I mentioned that I bought at the attic was more Stitcher's lotion.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, oh.
Oh, we have 10 to go. We need 10 more subscribers and we'll have a 600 party.
Tell your friends.
So tell your friends, and if you haven't subscribed, you can help us hit that 600 and we'll be so happy. Our channel has grown slow but sure. It's not, but we really appreciate each and every one of you. We're so excited that you guys are tuning in from all over. Let us know about your craft room or your craft space or your craft arm of shoulder.
Armchair.
Arm of your couch.
Yeah.
Some people, that's all the space you have. That's
Arm of
great.
couch.
That's great.
Yeah, I stitch on my bed.
Yeah.
90% of the time,
Yeah.
and so I
So
have. Yeah.
we want to hear all about how you keep how you keep yourself in craft. And look, I am now at the place where, I have to tell a really quick story. I'm now at the place where I pulled my needle out. Did you hear the story?
Yeah, I did. I could hear it.
Before. And I'm like, but what was so funny was that it happened, and Mark and Eli were in the room with me, and I was just like, oh, no. And they just were like, no, you need to react to this. This is awful. I'm like, look, I pulled it out. And they were like, she needs to scream and yell with me.
I pulled it
sad
out
for me.
Not on purpose.
I know. And I'm like, I was just like, I can't believe this. Oh my gosh, and I look over and they're like, don't you understand how horrible this is? I cannot pick it back up because you see, it's like this stitch where you pull up a loop in between these two stitches.
Oh, yeah.
And you pull it over here, and then you knit 3 more, and so it winds up looking like
Don't
this.
pull it off while you're looking at us, because it's,
Yeah,
you don't
see?
have your things on your books.
So it winds up looking like this
That's
after
beautiful.
the next row. But it was in this mode, and there was no way that
Yeah.
I could figure out how to pick it up again. And I'm like, because I mean the stitches were all kind of standing there, but those loops were starting to come out, and I'm like, no, I can't. And then I thought, well, maybe if I go back some rows. No, I was so sick, so I'm just like, fine, pull it out, and pull it back out. Oh, I was so sad. I was quite sad. Okay, but now I'm back. I'm back to where I was. Maybe it looks better. Maybe it looks more even. See, look at this decorative edge on the top. It's like a tubular cast on. It's kind of cool. I'll put some close-ups. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you again next week when this one will be older. and I will not. And you will be older. Always older.
There may be a week coming up sooner rather than later toward the end of the month where we cannot film because we will be in the middle of.
Yeah, or you come film at my house. Or
Or
something
we'll
like
come
that.
film at your house, one or the
So,
other.
Yep.
So
we
this
will-
week, this month is going to be
This month's gonna be dicey,
interesting.
or especially the end of the month.
Yeah.
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 So thanks for joining us again, and we will see you next week. We just need 10 more subscribers, and we'll have a 600 party. We might have to have the 600 party a little later after they get settled,
Yeah.
but we will do that. And if you've been with us for a long time, you know we throw a good party, and we have giveaways, and it's much fun. So thanks so much for joining us, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.